What's up guys, welcome back to my vlog. Today's episode we are going to do toy photography on a budget, relatively. I have a little action figure from McFarlane Toys. It is a Game of Thrones The Night King. I'm going to put him in some poses, hopefully get some cool pictures of him, and we're going to try to not spend that much money doing it. So here we go. Alright, so first things first, you're going to need a toy, or in this case it's going to be an action figure. Got that, check. And you're going to need a camera that works. Got that, check. Next thing I think you're going to need is a backdrop. I'm going to use a backdrop on the monitor, and I'm going to pull up a scene from Game of Thrones show, and hopefully I can use that in the background to give it some sort of context to the character itself. Right, okay, so now that we have the image we're going to use, we're going to try to set up the character in a specific way that will give him some depth from the background. I'm going to have to find some stuff here in this room to kind of stack up to give him, the proper height from how I have the monitor. Let's see what I can find. And I find it's important to get the pose kind of correct before you place them on the marker. It's not easy to get them to pose correctly while you're trying to balance them. It also does make it easier if you're putting them on something soft that you can insert like a pin or a piece of wire that can kind of lock them in place. But what I like to do is just kind of get the basic stance and the positioning ready and then place them down. Upon looking at my setup here and seeing the angle that he's at compared to the background, I'm gonna have to switch a few things around, but hopefully we can get a good shot. The next step after that is to try to make this room as dark as possible, because I'm gonna light it with some of my own lights and maybe give it some sort of atmospheric vibe. Okay, so since we're doing toy photography on a budget, we also gotta do lighting on a budget. So got this cheap little light here from Amazon. I think I paid 16 bucks or something like that. And since I don't have any gels, I'm going to take this piece of plastic that has a sticky side, and I'm gonna paint red over it because I think red is going to suit the overall mood and photo that I have planned. This is kind of the composition I was looking for. Here you can see the image in the background and you can see the character here in the foreground. It also looks like he's getting lit from the background image a little bit, which is giving it more realism. So it almost looks as though this dragon is really there, really in the scene. So now our composition is really starting to fall together. You're definitely going to need one of these. This is a trigger release. I find these really useful because sometimes when you're on a tripod and you're doing a longer exposure, you don't want any sort of shutter or shake. All right, so this is my camera setup. I got my D5200 with kind of an unconventional lens. I'm using a vintage 50mm f1.4. I think I'm going to shoot this at around f4 just to kind of bring the background into focus a little bit. I kind of want it to look like there is a dragon there instead of just a blob, right? But this is the setup I got. I got it on my silk tripod. Manfrotto, sponsor me. Yeah, we'll see how this is going to get on. I'm going to test out a couple different lenses, or if I like the shot on here, I might just leave it. All right, so now that we got our little scene set up here, I'm gonna snap off a couple photos. I'm gonna then bring them into Lightroom, fix them up a little bit. I'm also gonna blow some vape in the area just to give it that look of smoke, so kids don't do that at home. Yeah, so this is our little scene. Hopefully this turns out really good. Alright, so just like that, you can get a pretty fun and creative photo with using a monitor and the internet and an action figure. I bought that thing on Amazon for $19. So if it's a rainy day and you're looking for a photo idea, that's a pretty fun one to mess around with. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and yeah, thanks for watching.